All right. I think we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bob's Lunch Break, or also known as Bob Running Errands in the Middle of the Day. I don't know if you guys can hear me that well. I'm still figuring out this whole live stream from my phone from my car thing, but I thought I'd give it a try and enjoy the new technology and hopefully not get hit by these cars as I pull out into the street. What are you guys doing? So I've got to go make a quick trip up to Oklahoma City, and I thought I'd go stream a little bit. And I was thinking to myself today, let me get here's a break in the traffic. I was thinking to myself today, why is it that we can't just all seem to get along? And I know it's kind of a childish thing to think about. Oh, why can't we get along? Can't we just leave each other alone, and can't we all just behave? And you'd think it'd be a pretty simple. I think it'd be a pretty simple thing, if we just all didn't butt into other people's lives or butt into other people's countries and just kind of keep to our own stuff, deal with our own problems, we'd probably all get along a lot better. A lot of people say, oh, because we believe one thing and you believe something else. And I mean, I don't know if that's true. I mean, I've got friends back in New York who believe vastly different things than I do, and we get along just fine because, I mean, I disagree with them on some stuff, but it's their life. Let them live how they want, and they let me live how I want, right? So why is it that we're always at each other's throats, especially recently? And I was thinking about it today, and there's an awful lot of money involved in making us all hate each other. Have you ever thought about that? Foreign countries spend millions and billions of dollars creating movements to make other countries' populations hate each other. We do that too. I mean, a lot of the color revolutions going on around the world, the various revolutions in the Middle East and Eastern Europe and Asia, that's all American money. A lot of the various groups here in America are funded by China, and there's a lot of money being thrown around to make all of us hate each other. And also, when you think about it, there's an awful lot of fraud going on as well. At one point, when Elon was doing the whole Doge thing, he had estimated that probably about 25% of the American federal budget was fraud and misuse, misallocation, and that might be true. A while back, I was doing some thinking. I was looking up data. I was using Grok to help me a little bit, and it occurred to me, if we add up all the money that we spent on foreign wars since 9/11, plus all the money we spent on refugees for those foreign wars, plus all the foreign aid caused by the foreign wars that we caused, plus the interest on the debt and all the welfare and everything, all because of all these foreign wars, that roughly came out to about $38 trillion. It came out to almost as much as our national debt. And we know that people got super rich, like Halliburton got super rich from all the Iraq war stuff, all that Dick Cheney stuff. A lot of the people pushing for the war to continue in Ukraine, these guys are getting super rich. Ukraine's doing a bunch of internal audits and investigations, finding all kinds of corruption and stuff. And if you look at pretty much every conflict out there, it's about the same. If you look at a lot of the foreign money, or a lot of the money that we're sending, rather, to nonprofits to go like solve starvation in Africa and stuff like that, a lot of it's getting misdirected. There's an awful lot of fraud. There's still a lot of people starving. And there's a real grift going on. And it's not just a left thing. It's not just a right thing. Everybody's doing it. Maybe to one extent or another. I don't have the details on every organization out there, but it seems to be there's an awful lot of fraud and money. And if we all hate each other, then we're too busy to look into, hey, where's all our money going? Because at the end of the day, we're getting robbed. I don't want my tax dollars going to pay for blowing up people overseas that I have no beef with, and I don't want my tax dollars going towards funding, a bunch of migrants that came into the country because of the countries I blew up, that are then, depleting my resources. I feel for the migrants, and we should take some responsibility since we fucked up their country. But, every legitimate economist out there understands that it's more cost efficient and better for the migrants to just fix their own country. We could pay to fix Iraq, we could pay to fix Somalia, we could pay to fix Afghanistan, and we would have far fewer refugees and they would have better lives, right? But instead, we always seem to choose, we as in the government and the country, always seem to choose the most path that also enables the most money laundering to take place. Ever notice that? And there's no auditing that can be done. One of the reasons that the donors love these foreign wars is there's no way to track it. Of the $200, $300 billion we sent to Ukraine, how much of that got stolen versus how much of that got blown up? We don't know. There's no way to tell because it's a war. Of all the trillions of dollars we spent in Iraq and Afghanistan, how much of that got stolen? How much of it got blown up? We have no idea. The Pentagon's never passed an audit before, so we don't know. And when you look at all these social movements, abortion and trans rights and environmental stuff and save the whales and God knows what else, we always choose the path. We, the not the voters, but our politicians, our leaders, always choose the path that involves the absolute most money with the absolute least amount of accountability. And then we argue over each other about issues that, while they're important, they're not as important as, hey, where's all our money going? And I care a lot more about where my money's going than what somebody I don't know is doing in the privacy of their bedroom, right? I don't fucking care what you do. If you want to bang your wife or your husband or probably not your dog, but if you want to do something that I don't care, right? But I do want to know where's all my fucking money. And this has been kind of a trend throughout most of history, actually, most of human history. The ruling elites historically keep us peasants fighting with each other so that we're too busy hating each other to realize we're all getting screwed by the same people. And it doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right or somewhere in the middle, you're all getting screwed. Maybe some people are getting screwed more than others, but we're all getting screwed. And that's kind of the big thing that I've been thinking about more and more. Where's all the money going? And nothing ever adds up. All of these NGOs and all these charities and whatnot, as you start adding more and more layers of bureaucracy, maybe only 10% is getting stolen, maybe only 20% is getting stolen, but there's a lot of money getting stolen. And when you think about the billions and billions of dollars or trillions of dollars floating around, for example, look at the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't think black people should be killed. You don't think black people should be killed. I don't think anybody thinks black people should be killed. Why is it the leaders ended up with so much money in a bunch of mansions, right? Because they were probably grifting off the people that were supporting their cause. Same thing goes with all these Christian movements. I like Jesus. You probably like Jesus. Everybody likes Jesus. Hell, even the Muslims respect Jesus. They don't think he's the son of God. They just see him as a prophet. But everybody likes Jesus, right? And it's really easy to give money to a Jesus organization. Then where does all the money go? A lot of stuff kind of disappears. I'm not looking at you, Catholic Church, or anything, but historically speaking, a lot of money disappears. I like the environment. You like the environment. None of us want to be dead. Why is it that the same people funding, promoting the environmental movements also happen to own all these African slave mines, or these green technology companies located in China that have really poor environmental records where they just pollute and create a bunch of toxins and they get rich off of it, right? Why is it all of these, charitable groups also seem to be affiliated with, various like Asian sweatshops and slave labor and drug cartels and God knows what else, right? I don't want a bunch of Mexicans dying in the desert. I don't think you want a bunch of Mexicans dying in the desert either. Cartels don't give a shit. They just want their money, right? But whenever we're spending money, we've been fighting this war on drugs for my entire life. There's still lots of drugs. Where all the fucking money go? And so this is sort of the trend that I see. So why do we hate each other? Why can't we get along? Well, because if we got along, we'd probably ask, where's the money? And most of us wouldn't like the answer to that. And it's not a Democrat problem, a Republican problem, or an independent problem. It's an all of us problem. I certainly want people in need to be helped. I don't want people getting blown up overseas with my money. We spend more money on homeless people now than we ever did, yet there's more homeless people. We're not solving the homeless. Even trying. They're just grifting the money. And this seems to be just a common trend. We've got all the crazy people on the streets because they shut down the mental hospitals and all that stuff. Yet we're spending more money than ever dealing with crazy people. Where's the fucking money going? And so as you guys get together over the holiday season to argue politics and make your family hate you, maybe instead of hating each other, maybe we should all come together and ask as a united people, hey, where's our fucking money? That's kind of my thought. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the money. It's always about the money. And the people in charge don't give a shit about their social issues. They just want the money. They want our money. And I'm kind of tired of giving it to them. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. I'm going to keep driving and running my errands. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more snarky content. Feel free to follow me on various platforms, and I will see everybody next time. Thank you and goodbye. Now, if I can end the stream without crashing the car, I think I'm going to wait till I get to the stoplight. Also, let me know what you think about like random car videos. I can't get the cell phone camera to line up very well. It makes my face look super big and fat. Granted, my face is super big and fat anyway. Hello there, cars. Thank you for not hitting me. Thank you for obeying the stoplight. Alrighty. There we go. Now that we are in a safe place, I'll turn off the stream. You guys take care. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.